5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
A very warm good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Utkarsh Tandon welcoming you all to this post-match analysis session as the match has summed up under 2 days, and it is India who got the better of England as they pulverized England by 10 wickets, and that India has taken a humongous stride forward towards the qualification in the WTC finals, as they now just have to stop England from winning the third test. If it ends in a draw, then also India will cement its place in the finals to play against England later this year in Lords. So the day started with a flurry of wickets for India as India lost all their 7 wickets within 46 runs and were skittled for 145. But what followed after was much disastrous for England as their batting lineup was summed up for 81. Again, it was Ashwin this time who picked the fifer. Akshar Patel took 4 wickets and summed up. If we sum up the wickets of both of his innings, then it was a 10-wicket haul in the match for Akshar Patel, who was playing his second test match, and that too in his home ground. So special day for Akshar. We'll talk about it later on. And then it was just 49 runs needed to win for India, and Rosu Parit Sharma, as we say. So he finished things off with 6, and the match was almost over at about 8 o'clock. So it's 2 hours, or rather 1.5 hours earlier than what is the usual time to finish the game. Now I have my experts joining us, so without much ado, I'll quickly dwell into the discussion. So welcome VK, welcome Shirish.
Hi.
Shirish, exciting as well as less time consuming. So time was not an issue in this match. The match got finished under 2 days.
There is a very interesting meme going around on the internet which says that this is the schedule for this third test as mapped out by BCCI. Day 1, cricket. Day 2, cricket up to 7:50 p.m. followed by dinner, reception. Day 3, visit to Adani Port followed by dinner, reception. Day 4, visit to Reliance followed by dinner, reception. Day 5, tour of Ahmedabad city followed by reception, dinner, reception. It is unfortunate that a test like this could be over in little over 5.5 sessions, not even a full second day. So in 2 days, if a test gets over, it is not a very good commentary on the quality of the pitch. Yes, it affected both the teams because India also got skittled out for 145, but it affected England far more because if they were knocked over for 81 in their second knock, it just shows that their batsmen were not equipped to deal with the kind of spin that Akshar Patel and Ashwin were generating. And in the course of the match, Ashwin reached that magical figure of 400 test wickets in only his 77th test. The only person who has got there quicker is the spin wizard Muttiah Muralidharan, who ended up with 800 wickets in international test cricket. Other than him, there is nobody ahead of Ashwin in the speed with which he got to the 400 wicket mark, and that's a phenomenal achievement. And Akshar Patel on his home ground got his first 10-wicket haul. So it's he hit several records in the process. The one record was that his is the first ever 10-wicket haul in a day-night pink ball test. And the second is that he hit this in only his second test, which again is a very good very, very good achievement. Yeah, we've had people like Narendra Hirwani and so forth, doing it in their first test. But Akshar, in two consecutive tests, has had consecutive 5 wicket hauls, and in this
Yeah.
test, he won man of the match with a 11 wicket haul. I think that's a terrific achievement, and it gives us 3 extra days to lie back and relax while we wait for the teams to get together to play the fourth and final test of the series.
Yeah, yeah. Quickest test finish for India as some just in 842 deliveries and under 2 days. But VK, I was listening to Virat Kohli, and he mentioned a couple of points in the post-match presentation. That first thing is that he didn't mention about the pitch. He said that pitch was a good batting track, and just the odd balls turned, unlike the Chepauk wicket where everything was gripping and turning. And the second point which he made, that batting was substandard. There was no patience shown on either sides, and it's just that the batters need to apply their skills rather than commenting anything on the wicket or the surface. Your take. Your, your mic is muted. Please unmute yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Sorry,
perfect.
I was saying that if you take my opinion on wicket is like, obviously if a test match is getting over within a 2 days time, then everyone will come and talk about the wicket. But no one is talking that the class of batting is somewhere is lacking. It's not only from the English side, even from the Indian side also.
Yeah,
And this is not the first time that the test matches are the test matches getting over within 2 days. There are so many other incidents happened in past also. In fact, in a wicket like Sharjah also, there was one match, Australia versus Pakistan. That test match went over within 2 days. And similar situation what England is facing over here right now, same thing Indian team faced in 2002 when they traveled to New Zealand. That time there were two test matches, and India lost both the test matches very badly because of the green top, and everyone was saying that those green top are not meant for the test cricket. I mean, because they played with their strength at that time, and now Indian team are playing with their strength of on this spin bowling attack. And yes, it is turning. You can say that ball is turning more as compared to other wickets. But suppose if there is a flat track and both teams are scoring 500 plus run, and there is no second innings happening, and test is going for a dull draw, then people will say that wicket was not supporting. So in every case, the people will come out with something. But what I believe, feel that somewhere the class of batting is decline, and in fact during our pre-series program also we were discussing that England team are coming with a lot of new batsmen who are going to play first time in India, and that is the reason they are facing this spin problem. And more to that it's ruling on their mind actually, rather than they are applying themselves on wicket. We can see that, Ashwin played so well in the last game. He scored 100. Even Ben Fox, although he's not scoring runs, but he's looking much comfortable as compared to their top line batsmen. Yes, and even Virat mentioned that most of the batsmen were got out on straight deliveries, and we have seen that a lot of LBWs appeals were there. A lot of LBWs happened, and all of them were straight deliveries. There is nothing. There is not a single ball which stopped or which went low or taking awkward bounce. The bounce
yeah,
was consistent. Bounce was there. Yes, it is turning, and it is good for, like, and Indians bowler are more Indian spinners rather are more better than their spin attack, and obviously they were going with only one spinner. And you can see Joe Root rolling his arm, and he's taking 5 wickets. So, and he got those 5 wickets. There was nothing with the wicket. It was like some of the bad shot played by the Indians.
yeah.
So I believe that not during this series, but if we look around at whatever happening in Test cricket around the world, that batting for Test cricket is decline. Somewhere that class of Test cricket batting is decline, and that is the reason test matches are getting over a little early. Of course, this got over quite early within 2 days, but most of the tests are getting over within the 4 days. And somewhere I believe, like, because of a lot of shorter format of cricket is happening, and players are not, that defensive technique is missing, and the amount of patience is missing. We saw that when Olive Pop came for the batting in second inning, and I think it was his second delivery, he tried for a reverse sweep. So somewhere it was in his mind that ball going to turn or something like that, and he was not there to neglect that spin thing rather than going for a reverse sweep thing. So we cannot only blame the wicket. It's like
Yeah.
somewhere the skills are need to look for everyone. It's
Correct.
not about the England team, not about the Indian team,
Varun,
but around the world. Is if
Varun,
you
I concede your point about the quality of batting having deteriorated. But
Yeah.
the fact that a test gets over in less than 2 days is not a good advertisement for test cricket. I think,
obviously
and
see, that is I'm
let me complete what I'm saying. We saw
Yeah.
during the first day itself that there were ground staff coming and tamping the dust on either end of the track, either end of the pitch, because the bowlers were finding it difficult to, land on the pitch properly, and they were afraid of getting injured. In fact, many bowlers went over. If you noticed, they fell on their elbows. That is not something that we should be proud of. I feel we should have a track which has a little more, in it for the batsman, not the kind of flat tracks where you hit 500 in both innings, and the match peters out into a dull draw even after 5 days of playing. No, but a sporting track where there is more in it for both the batsmen and the bowlers.
Okay.
I do
So
agree. I
with
mean,
the
definitely. I mean, this test matches getting over under 2 days is not a good sign for any
Yeah,
venue
exactly.
or any testing. And but still, I believe that Root is getting 5 wickets definitely because of that track. Definitely, it was turning a lot, and but you cannot say this, that track was misbehaving in a way of awkward bounce or something like that. But
yeah.
yes, even I felt really bad because the amount of appreciation we had for this ground before the start of the game. So everyone really wanted to go this game for 5 days so that everyone can enjoy the quality of this ground for 5 days. So in that case, yes, it is very, very unfortunate that the match went off for 2 days and we don't have any action for remaining of 3 days.
I have
So
2 points. Sorry, Utkarsh.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
have two very interesting points to make before we
Okay.
go into the further details of the end of the test. One
Yeah.
is that Joe Root's figures of 6.3 overs, 3 maidens, 8 runs, 5 wickets was the first time in his entire test career that he was getting a
Even first
5.
class. Even
Yeah,
first
in
class, sir.
first class, in fact, yeah, not just test, but in first class cricket, that he was getting a fifer. Okay,
Yeah.
this is one point, and the second point that we missed yesterday was Akshar Patel's analysis of 6 for 38 was uncannily identical to the analysis of Bhagwat Chandrasekhar in the 1971 Test against England at the Oval, where he
Yeah.
bowled India to victory with that spell of 6 for 38.
Yeah.
Exactly the same figure, 6 for 38,
Another.
and both these bowling efforts ended up in Indian victories. This is the point I
Yeah.
wanted to make.
Another.
Just an
Another
interesting point.
legend. Another legend in
Interesting.
B.S. Chandrasekhar, who actually formed a quartet of spin bowling along with the Bishan Singh Bedi, Venkat Raghavan, and Iripalli Prasanna. Uh, with the pitch one, now last two questions before we move further that emerged. Number one, that England missed the trick. They misread the pitch by playing just Jack Leach as a lone spinner. That was one tactical question which England will ask when they sit with the drawing board and rediscuss their strategies. Number one. Number two, that about the home advantage. If green top is a home advantage overseas where the Indian batters struggle and could not face the fast bowling with aplomb, then why not a spinning track which is not a rank turner, because this wasn't a rank turner as we saw in Chepauk. So home advantage, which wasn't that rank turner where the odd ball was gripping and turning. So is this not the home advantage for India? These two questions. Both of you can answer. Shirish, I can go first.
Uh, I think yes, it is. It is fair that every country takes advantage of its local conditions
Yeah,
while it tries to win its tests against any kind of opposition. So I don't see anything too much wrong in making turning out spinning wickets. Only thing is, they should not be outright dust bowls as this particular wicket was, where even in the first session, you saw puffs of dust coming up from both sides next to the wicket, and where the bowlers were having difficulty landing. So, if the wicket is a little better prepared, a little firmer, and it lasts 4 to 5 days, then I have absolutely no objection in our going ahead with making spinning tracks, because yes, we have to have advantage where all the other countries, New Zealand goes in for fresh green tops, England goes in
yeah,
for swinging tracks. So there's absolutely nothing wrong in our doing what we did, but it should not be so apparent that there is going to be no chance at all for the opposing team. There should be some level of balance between the batsmen and the bowlers. This is the point.
yeah,
Varun, what do you
yeah.
say?
But today I feel they had the chance. Now we can. So one more question about England's tactical mistake of going with Jack Leach as the lone spinner.
Well, they made a big mistake by not even. Okay, they went in with one spinner and four pacemen, which was
Yeah,
a tactical mistake, 100%. No question about it. And they won't make that same mistake again for the fourth test.
yeah,
But they also made another tactical blunder by keeping Joe Root back. Joe Root should have come on much earlier than he did. Okay, we are talking with the benefit of hindsight with that wonderful analysis which he had in the first innings. But
yeah,
even otherwise, knowing that the wicket is taking spin, knowing that Jack Leach was bowling so well, the only other spinner in that side needed to come on earlier. I mean, Jofra Archer and Stuart Broad had no part to play in this match. It was Anderson. Yes, Anderson played a part. He got that early breakthrough. Yes. But otherwise, it was a spinner's wicket, and they missed a trick by not having two spinners. Dom Bess was sitting on the sideline. He must have been crying. And Moeen Ali has gone back home on that rotation policy nonsense. So they really got it wrong. But having got it wrong, they could have mitigated it to some extent by bowling Joe Root earlier. I mean, he's the captain. He should have brought himself on earlier. I don't know why
yeah.
he felt inhibited about it.
Yeah, and even when the opposition is going with three spinners, where although Washington Sundar was a mere spectator, just getting one over where he picked the last wicket in the second innings, and also one more thing which has raised doubts in everyone's mind, that is the rotation policy and the way to do it. But now moving to VK to have his comments. So VK, you can comment.
See, about home advantage thing, obviously every host team will go for their strength. But the thing is, there is one more thing. Suppose in this current scenario, if Indian team is traveling to Australia, New Zealand, Indian team is well equipped with their pace battery also. Suppose if they are going to get a green top, then Indian team itself got a world
Yeah,
class fast bowling attack, and that is the reason nowadays even these countries like England, Australia, they are in little doubt to give 100% of green top. That is the reason they always give that 60-40 ratio of green top and little bit of batting
yeah,
helpful
brilliant point.
tops. But in India, like with this team of England, we were always, in fact, during our pre-show also, we were discussing that England team is very well equipped, but they are lack of quality spinners. And
Yeah,
as Shirish ji mentioned that already Moeen Ali is went back and Dominic is there, but still, if Dominic would have played that maximum, you could have done the same thing what Root had done it for them. So I believe, yes, playing three medium pacer. I mean, Stoke is always there. So apart from that, they played those three medium pacer because they were in dilemma of ping ball thing. They must have thought that pink ball will going to help them their speedster, but the wicket was not that much firm to give help to the pink ball. And somewhere they are also missing one more trick, I believe. It is a high time they should include Vokes because he is a better batsman and than many of their other pure batsmen who are playing in their playing 11. He is a good batsman of a spin bowling, and obviously he's a good bowler too. So rather than playing Broad or Archer, they can go for Vokes in place of that in last test match. And with their rotation policy, I'm sure that Anderson or Broad, one of them definitely going to sit out. And after playing on this track, and again they're going to play here at Ahmedabad only. So definitely they will come with two or three spinners. I'm not sure whether they have any other spinners in their team
No,
apart
they
from
don't.
Dominic Bess.
Yeah,
They
Bess is
don't.
the only one.
So definitely they will add Dominic Bess along with Leach. And see, there is one more difference. See, Leach is taking wickets, but he's getting wickets. He's bowling only one type of bowling. He's just landing
Yeah.
in a middle stump and it's just going away. But with Akshar Patel, he was bowling at the same spot. From there, the ball is going away or just coming into the batsman. That is where their batsmen were struggling. But
Yeah.
Leach is predictable, and that is why he's little easy to play. And Indian batsmen are obviously more equipped to play spinners as compared to England batsmen. So home advantage is, oh, I'm
Okay.
like home for home advantage thing is always like there is nothing wrong with the home advantage. But yes, we all really want that test match should go till last. Getting over in a 2 day is really disappointment, and for everyone, it's even I believe even for the players also. But I
Okay.
hope that the last test match should go a little longer, and that competition need to be there, because in this test match it was like more of a formalities over there. Even England body language, after
Yeah, the shoulders
that
were
first inning,
drooping,
their
correct.
body language was not up to the mark. They were just waiting to get this test match over and just going to the next match. And as compared, like in Chennai, even the second match of Chennai, it got over on fourth day, but still there was some spark from England side. There was some
But
competition in a test game, but in this game they were totally outplayed.
here I have a question because India were bowled out for 145, and then England had a chance to come and bat in the second innings, but they absolutely showed no intent, and they were reduced to none for two. So I think from there on, don't you think that England just gave up?
No, that's because of
Yeah, coming see.
Akshar
Yeah,
Patel's, ingenuity, the way he bowled, the way he got them 0 for 2 wickets right at the start of the innings. In fact, he was on a hat trick, and
yeah,
because he'd taken a wicket of the last ball of the previous innings, although there was some controversy created by Mr. Gavaskar saying that he doesn't believe that if you take a wicket of the last ball of the first innings, that you should have a hat trick chance for the first 2 balls of your second innings. He said it doesn't happen to the batsman, so why should the bowlers have that advantage? Anyway, whatever that be, Akshar eventually ended up getting 3 wickets in 4 balls, and
yeah,
that was the reason why England was put on the back foot right from the start. And
yeah,
you have to give credit to Akshar. And as Varun very correctly mentioned, all he was doing was landing it like a metronome on that one spot and just changing his grip on the seam of the ball so that one ball came in, one ball went out, and another
yeah,
ball went straight. And he
yeah,
bowled the traditional orthodox left arm spinner's ball more slowly, and he bowled the one that went straight quicker. If you notice, I was looking at the speeds that were being displayed, and he
yeah,
was bowling that straight ball at 90, 91, 92, and the
yeah,
other balls were being bowled between 85 and 90. So he used his brain brilliantly, and for
yeah.
something on his home ground, I think the Motera Stadium crowd must have really really gone wild with enthusiasm. The hometown
Yeah,
boy
I
had
was
to done
coming
whatever.
to I was coming to that in the previous two tests, including this one, the crowds were vocal for the local boy, and local boy emerged as the top performers for their team. Beat Akshar Patel at Ahmedabad or Ravichandran Ashwin at Chepauk. So how does it feel to perform at your own backyard? Because it's a child's dream to play cricket at highest level and then to play at the highest level and perform in front of your own audience in your home ground. That is something is surreal. Means the feeling is absolutely out of this world.
See, obviously, I mean, first of all, playing for your country and wearing that logo of BCCI always give immense feeling for every player, and that is what every cricketer dream about, to wear that logo. And obviously, every player is like never able is not every player is not there to reach at that level. So the player who are reaching there and playing for the country is always a proud feeling for them. And more to that, if they got a chance to play in on their home ground, and more to that, they perform so well and winning a man of the match award. So it's something like a dream coming true, and they cannot ask anything more than this. And for Akshar Patel, is like a, at first test match he was supposed to make a debut, then he got injured, and that time he must be thinking whether I will get a chance or not. But he came back so strongly and taking 5 wickets in last 3 innings. He's taken up 5 or more wickets, and it's something like all of a sudden everyone is talking about Akshar Patel, and no one is remembering Jadeja now. And just believe, if
Yeah,
Jadeja was there
that
along
is.
with Ashwin, then it would have been more terrible for England. And
Yeah.
yes, and I
Okay.
believe Akshar is somewhere,
Very.
somewhere. See, Akshar is, he's not a new name. He played 40 odd ODIs for India, and he was, I guess, he's playing since last 5 6 years for Indian team in shorter format. So he's an experienced guy, and but coming to test team and playing a test level is the most highest level of this game. And obviously it's the proudest moment for him and for his family. This is his time, and this is the moment of his life, and which is like he's top of that moment. So obviously he must be very very happy about it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed the interview which Ashwin was asked to give at the end. I saw
Okay.
that, and Ashwin mentioned specifically that he was not sure of his place in the team for the first test against Australia. It was only after Jadeja got injured. He expected that Jadeja, because of his better batting abilities and because of his metronomic accuracy,
Right.
was
Correct.
likely to be the first spinner to start in Australia. And it's only after Jadeja got injured and was injured for quite some time that Ashwin got a chance, and he grabbed it with both hands. And thereafter, he's made his place secure. That's how. So
Yeah.
even Ashwin mentioned that had Jadeja been playing, he himself would not have got a chance. So where would Akshar have got a chance if Jadeja had been there?
Yeah.
I don't think he would have, because they're both left arm spinners, and both are orthodox spinners, and both are
Yeah.
accurate. Very similar
Yeah.
spinners. So India is
Yeah.
now faced with a headache of plenty.
Yeah, and definitely with the kind of player Jadeja is, who contributes in all the three disciplines. So replacing Jadeja is not an easy task, but Axar has done it with aplomb. Now coming to another great player who has been spinning the web for last 11 years, and it is Ravindra Jadeja. Today, Ravichandran Ashwin. Today he breached the 400 wicket mark, just second fastest after Motera in 77 test matches. Ravi Ashwin has achieved this feat, fastest Indian to achieve this feat. So, sir, we were talking about how he has been performing for India, guiding players, mentoring players. He's in off late. He's been batting really well, and as a bowler, everyone knows what he can do. But Ashwin, in these 11 years, his journey means, comment on Ravi Chandran Ashwin as a player in these 11 years and how he is improved, and he's always thrived for improvement.
He is a thinking player. There's no question about it. He's a highly intelligent person. Uh, he is like that trio of Karnataka players who used to be, they were engineers in their profession, and then came into cricket and remained. Anil Kumble, Javagal Srinath. These are very highly intelligent people who have a lot of capability apart from just a cricketing brain. So
Yeah.
Ashwin is a guy who's always trying to evolve, always trying to improve, and he kept. There was one question which he was asked, which he said, I get asked this particular question virtually every time. That is this the best that you've been bowling? And he turns around and says, no, not necessarily. Every time I bowl, I find a higher gear. I find a better gear. So maybe a little down the line, maybe 2 or 3 tests further, I might be bowling even better than I'm bowling today. So
Yeah.
it just shows that he's trying different things to get just the right mix of balls or deliveries in his bowling. And unfortunately, during the one-dayers and T20 series, T20 he hasn't played that much, but during the one-dayers, when he was a regular part of the team, he was being accused of trying too many things. He should have, remained with the basic off spinner as his stock ball, which he didn't. He tried leg spinners, he tried the straight ones, he tried the armers, he tried everything, the carom balls.
Yeah.
It worked very, very well in the tests, but it didn't work too well in one days, which is why he got moved out of the one day scheme of things. But in the test, there is no question. He's a really, really intelligent and evolving player. And as he said, that I hope to be playing for the next 3-4 years, at least at this level. And he's trying to make sure that his place is cemented for the next 3 to 4
Yeah.
years. Nothing wrong with
Yeah,
that.
special ground, because at the same ground, Mr. Sunil Gavaskar scored his completed or breached the 10,000 run mark in Test cricket, and Ashwin breaching this 400 wicket mark. But there was one more achievement which went under the radar, so to say, because of the achievement of Akshar and Patel, or rather the heroics of Akshar and Ashwin. That was Ishan Sharma playing his 100th Test match, and VK has seen him closely as a former DDCA player and belonging to Delhi. So VK, can you tell us about something about Ishan Sharma, which is unknown to anyone outside? Some moments, some key
See,
stories. Any story?
I'll tell you. See, first of all, playing 100 Test matches obviously a greatest achievement for him in his career, and especially being a fast bowler and playing most of the games on Asian soil, and keeping himself fit for 100 Test matches is a really remarkable job done by Shan Sharma. And keeping fit with that thing, I just want to recollect one incident. Um, when he started playing for a Delhi Ranji Trophy team, after very first season, he got a shoulder injury, and when the season were about to start in the month of November, that time Pakistan toured India for a Test series, and they were playing one practice game at Firosha Kotla ground, which is now known as Arun Jaitley Cricket Stadium. So they were playing a practice game against Delhi team, and that match Ishan Sharma was not playing, so he was taking just a walk of the ground, and I was there with him and a couple of other players there and taking around. So we were just talking, and he was saying that कि मेरा जो shoulder है वो ठीक हो जाए so that I can play this coming season for Delhi team. He was not thinking about Indian team or something like that, but he was just thinking that he just get fit and play a couple of games for Delhi team. And fortunately, he regained his fitness and he played and made a debut against Pakistan in that series itself, and where he was playing along with VRV Singh also. And that time, VRV and Ishan both were going together for that spot. And after that test match where he got 5 wicket haul also, I guess 4 or 5 wicket in second inning, and after that game he was picked for the Australian tour, and after that everyone knows what he did with Ponting. That spell changed his life and he never looked back. So these are the things, like, just 50 days before that historic spell, he was thinking of playing some couple of games for Delhi team. He was never imagining of Australia tour or this Pakistan series, and now he's played this 100 test match. So this is something very remarkable achievement, and I also believe that it's not about Ishan, but every great player, they don't become great in one day. They have so much of hard work behind that success, and after reaching at top, they keep themselves maintained over there. That is also very important. It's nothing like there are so many players who's coming and playing for their team, but after that they just exit and they're nowhere. And but the players, like great players, always keep themselves maintained at top, and they always keep themselves disciplined. So Ishant is a perfect example for such personality, that he's very disciplined guy, very down to earth, and he's there, and we are very proud that he achieved this landmark of 100 test match, and after Kapil Dev he's the second fast bowler from India that who achieved it. So it's a very big thing.
You're mentioning that that spell to Ricky Ponting at Perth. I got goosebumps on my arms remembering that. I mean, it was an amazing spell. And
Amazing,
Ponting
because
was
during till that time, first of all, we from our Indian side, we never experienced that kind of a pace and bounce. We were
yes,
always relying with some swings like of
swings,
Kapil
yeah,
Dev, or even
Bhuvneshwar Kumar
Venkatesh
there was
Prasad used to.
that.
Only Srinath was there who used to look little deceptive with his
Yeah, he was
impetus.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But
But
A
Ponting
that
was right at the top
spell.
of his game at that time. He was in good
exactly.
form. He was right at the top of his game, and he was made to look like a novice in those 2-3
No,
overs that
and
Ishan
after
bowled. Brilliant spell,
and after
absolutely.
that after that test match, even in those one days also against Australia, he was looking very effective.
Carried on
He bowled
his
really well.
form and
Yes,
momentum.
yes.
Yeah.
And
A
same thing goes,
furious
as
spell.
Shirish ji mentioned, even same thing goes for Ashwin also. I mean, when he started his career, he eventually picked through because of IPL only into World Cup squad in 2011 along with Harbhajan Singh, and slowly he drafted into Test side. And the way in starting also, like, everyone was questioning about Ashwin's skills outside India, but somehow he had shown that he's very effective outside India also. And now, being a senior bowler, he's always there. He's a very thinking cricketer, and Ashwin graph is exactly going as if like Anil Kumble graph was going, because even Anil Kumble used to question about his skill outside India. And but during that 2003 Australian tour, where Anil Kumble took a lot of wickets, and that changed his life, I can say. I mean, after that he got extension to his career. Otherwise, everyone talking about Harbhajan Singh at that time. So same goes for Ashwin now. Ashwin is like doing what Anil Kumble did in the later stage of his career, and Ashwin is like the number one bowler, and achieving 400 wicket is definitely a big height of his career. And we are sure that if he played another 15-20 test games, he will going to cross 500 mark.
Yeah.
One bowler that England missed today. He should have been here with us, but I haven't
Yeah.
seen him.
Yeah.
There were so many references made to Graham Swan and Monty Panesar bowling India out in the 12-13 series, 2012-2013 series.
Yeah,
So-
but Shirish, don't you think that after Monty Panesar and Graham Swan, England could not find the duo in Test match cricket, the spin duo?
No spin
of
duo.
a stature of.
No.
Who was
You've
that?
had
I don't know.
individual performers. You had Ashley Giles, but
Yeah.
nobody who's come hunted in pairs. No,
Yeah,
none at all.
yeah.
None
Yeah.
at all.
Even England there is one more like struggle is going for England side, which I believe, and that is with their opening pair. It's not only about this tour. It's like since Alistair Cook and Andrew Strauss have existed, like
Yeah,
they are not able to find a proper opening slot,
There
that's
is an
and
true.
they
opening
keep on
conundrum.
changing their
Correct.
opening partner. And with that, this rotation is happening. They keep on
Yeah.
replacing their star players.
So there is an opening conundrum for England, which Shirish, if you remember, we talked about yesterday. But now moving to one more important factor in the game, and that was dew. So now conducting and hosting a pink ball test. So how much important is it for the hosting board to at least rack up their minds, rack up their brains, and consider all the factors which would affect the match? Dew was one of those factors. Uh, the match was too short, that it finished under 2 days, so there was no such effect. But for later games, don't you think that dew is something which needs to be looked at while selecting the venue?
You would like to answer that one, VK?
See, first of all, for the due thing, if you know that due is possible at some venue, then you need to change your timings. I mean, you can have
Yeah,
early start, and rather than going majority of session under light, you have to reduce that time. That is the only alternative. And otherwise, honestly, I believe that I don't support pink ball test. I don't support this test cricket under lights. Test cricket should be played in a way that
as the
the way it happens
conventional test
always.
cricket.
Exactly. So my take is always like I'm not with this pink ball test policy, but yes, now it's a trend that in every series, every 2 hour, there is a one pink ball test happening. And but if it is happening, then they have to look out the venue where there is a less chance of dew, because obviously it will be a spoil sport if dew is happening, because it depends if a
Yeah.
team is playing with their spin attack, and suppose Indian team was supposed to ball at that time, that could have been a little difficult for the spinners to grip the ball, especially for Ashwin. So that's what I believe. I mean, the only
Okay.
alternative is change of time can be done little 1 hour
Okay.
early. That's it.
Sirisa,
I
Sirisa, will
believe
you
that
go
I
with
believe
the?
that wherever there are going to be series of 4 or 5 tests, there will
Yeah,
be a lot of push for at least one pink ball test.
one.
Maybe not
There you
two,
One
go.
but
pink.
definitely one pink ball test and 3 daytime tests.
Yeah,
So I think we have to get used to the idea that the pink ball test is here to stay, and it works out well for a lot of office folks who can take the latter half of the day off and come and stay and enjoy themselves until 10:30, like they do in a day night ODI, one day
So,
international.
sir, one question. Sorry to interrupt. That do you support this modern thought, or do you support Varun with the old school thought of Test cricket to play
uh,
for?
mm, very I'm also a purist. I also feel that test cricket should be played during the day, but seeing the dictates of the requirements of modern day cricket watching, I think one pink ball test in a series is is going to be is going to be a given. It's going to be,
Okay,
whether in Australia, whether in England, or whether in India, where now Saurav Ganguly, as the president of the BCCI, is definitely supporting pink ball tests. He had the first one in Eden Gardens. He's had the second one here, and both of them have been quite successful. So I think we are likely to see pink ball tests here to stay, whether we like
okay,
it or not.
okay. And now Virat Kohli with this win has also surpassed MSD's record of Test wins as captain. So last thing before we sum up the session is about the bigger stage for which the series is being conducted, the WTC World Test Championships. And definitely, this is a humongous stride as far as India is concerned towards WTC finals, because they just now have to stop England from winning the last test and can afford even a draw. For England, the road has ended for WTC. Now there's an outside chance of Australia if England wins the second test. So, Shirish, a question in a form of prediction: that do you think that India will make it to the finals?
See, India has 65% chances of making it to the finals for the simple reason that it can afford a draw or a win. If he gets a win, fantastic. If not, then if it plays out to a draw. So that's 2 out of 3 endings of the test are in India's favor. Whereas a win for England would then knock India out and let Australia in by the back door. But England is out of it. Australia is not out of it, but their fate lies in the hands of India and England. So I feel that India will probably win this series 3-1 because the last test will be played on a pitch that will be fairly similar in nature to what this particular pitch was. Maybe it might last a little longer at best, but I think with the quality of the spin attack that the two sides have, the relative quality, I think India has got a big advantage. And we didn't even see Washington Sundar bowl in this test. He might be called upon to bowl in the next test. And I think Dom Bess is relatively new to test cricket. I don't think he's got that much of the experience of being able to bowl in conditions like India. And while Jack Leach is bowling extremely well, it will be hard for Joe Root to replicate what he did here, because here it was literally shock value. The Indian batsmen panicked and gave away their wicket, threw away their wickets. Meaning when Joe Root started to bowl, Jack Leach already had 4 wickets in his pocket. And it was the last 5 wickets that were taken by Joe Root. Meaning we thought that Jack Leach would end up with a fifer, but no, Joe Root overtook Jack Leach and ended up with a fifer. So it's going to be very hard for him to replicate that. You saw how he was handled in the second innings by Rohit Sharma. He was hit for 2 fours and 1 6 in that last over. He didn't even complete it. So 6.3 overs and it was 25 runs and 0 wickets. So they're going to have their hands full. And I think it's India's game to lose from here.
Yeah. Okay. VK, your comment. What's your thought?
See, obviously, I mean, India's our favorite now to play that final, and and they deserve to be there. As we always talk, that they played a very good amount of cricket in last couple of years, so they deserve to be there. And only if some unfortunate thing happened, that is the only thing that can stop Indian team reaching to the final. And as Sir mentioned, that obviously the wicket will be quite similar in a fourth match also. So chances for England looking a little difficult, but cricket is unpredictable. You cannot predict anything. But as per the things going, the momentum is with Indian team, and they are playing with a correct combination. And England team still obviously when the team are losing, they are always in doubt for their players and they're playing 11. So same thing is happening with England team, and they are not fully sure what kind of a combination they will go with. But yes, with the red ball will be back, so I really love to see that Anderson should be there, and rather than making him sit out for that rotation thing. So at least they must go with Anderson, and they include Vokes also, which will strengthen their batting lineup. Rest, I believe that in the way Indian team is going, the way they are playing, obviously they are at a very right and a very good momentum right now. So it's looking difficult that Indian team don't qualify for WTC, and they will deserve to be there. And we all hope and we really wish India do well in the last test match and earn that place of playing WTC final.
So this is it, and England need to rethink and their strategies and plans for the last and the final test, so that they can help Australia go and play New Zealand in the Lords, if they can be of some help. So at this point in time, Australia will be hoping and praying for English win in the last test, but India will take on this momentum and will try to not only draw but to win the test and actually complete the hat trick of wins in the series. That's it. Now we'll don't forget to tune in for the pre-match show of the fourth test, and for that you need to subscribe the channel and press the bell icon button so that you are notified as and when we go live. Thanks a lot, Shirish sir and Viki, for joining in. And when we do the
Thank you.
pre-match show, so this is something which we'll talk of as Viki mentioned about the rotation policy. England's rotation policy has been actually has been difficult to understand. No Johnny Bairstow in first couple of tests, no Butler in last couple of tests. So we will talk about this rotation policy in the pre-match show. That's it, gentlemen. Goodbye, good night, and thanks
Good
a lot
night.
to viewers
Good
for
night.
watching.
Right.